Hello and welcome back to Satisfactory. This is episode 2 of the Outposts in the Desert series, and we're picking up where we left off. Between episodes I just gathered a lot of biomass and continue feeding ore into our smelters here and limestone into the constructor. Looks like they're out in need of more now. So I'll pop some more limestone in there, copper ore in the smelter, and then iron ore in each of these smelters. But almost immediately we'll be tearing this down and putting up our first foundations for this starter factory, so everything is a little more organized. First though, we need to bust through a few of the early milestones, starting with base building. Can't build foundations without the base building milestone. So we need 200 concrete, 100 iron plate, 100 iron rods. That's no problem. This has been running for maybe 2 hours as I waited for episode 1 to upload and I could check the quality. You can see even just with one smelter and one constructor, we've got a significant amount of resources here. 200 concrete. This is all the biomass. We unlocked biomass with hub tier or hub upgrade 6. Then I ran out and collected like 600 wood, I think, and a few leaves. Converted all that to biomass. You get much more biomass from wood than leaves, so wood is preferable. This was just wood that was laying on the ground. We don't have a chainsaw yet. So we'll pop these items in.
Milestone reached.
And we'll send our cargo freighter into space. Who knows what's up there? I've heard a few theories in multiplayer lately. People think that the Fix-It Corporation is an AI corporation, and we're actually sending these components to some sort of like sinister station up in orbit. Who knows what's really going on? They're adding a story mode to the game, maybe in the next update, update 4. So really looking forward to that. Let's go ahead and peek at our next milestone here. It'll probably be, maybe we can unlock both in pretty rapid order here. The pod will be back in a minute. Let's just get set up for field research. Need to make some screws. We've got the rods. So we're going to need 1,000 screws total, or sorry, 600 screws total for these next two milestones. Let's see if we can get to 300 before the pod gets back. I think we're going to be a little bit behind. So I think what we'll do is we'll clear out all of Tier 1, and then we'll deconstruct what we've got, lay down some foundations quickly, and then build everything back up to a larger scale so that we can really increase our production for Tier 2 and beyond. Right now my plan is to have a starter base probably through Tiers 2, 3, and 4. Obviously Tier 3 is coal. We'll set up a coal outpost with the new like fluid mechanics elsewhere near water. It has to be near water now. And probably once we've unlocked all the milestones through Tier 4, we'll deconstruct this little starter base that we're about to build and move into a more like dedicated, larger scale outpost design. Alright, we're sending up the launcher pod for field research now.
Milestone reached. The molecular analysis machine,
We need to
as the MAB,
quickly
will
pump
allow
out 300 more
R&D to
screws.
provide new technologies, items, and
Then we'll be
buildings
done with
based
Tier
on
1
samples
basically.
collected in the field. To ensure a greater chance of success during exploration, an upgraded tool belt has been provided, as well as an object scanner and beacons. Note: the object scanner requires calibration via the MAM to enable detection of specific objects.
So the MAM, again, no longer inside the hub. It's a separate structure. We'll be building one shortly. There's really not any point to building it now and then deconstructing it and then building it again. So as soon as the hub is back, or the pod is back in 2 minutes, we'll send it up for the logistics milestone. And then we'll be ready. Alright, there's our 300 screws. What else do we need? 150 rods, 150 plates, no problem. Okay, good. Is this still working? Yeah. These smelters are both empty. You can just clear those out early. Take out the equipment workshop. You can see I put down a few more miners between the episodes. 2 more each on the iron and copper. Many, many more on the limestone in the distance there. That may or may not be visible, depending on when you're viewing this video. I've noticed that when I first upload these videos to YouTube, the quality is pretty poor. They're at like 360 resolution. And a day later or so, they'll be bumped up to like ultra high def. I guess it takes time for that extra post-processing by YouTube. Alright, the copper smelter's done. Copper constructor is done. Pod's back in 20 seconds. We'll leave the storage containers for now. Are these done? Yeah, they're both yellow, they're both done. Deconstructing all of this. One great change in update 3 is the mass deconstruct feature has been modified. Previously in update 2, when you would mass deconstruct something and your inventory was full, each individual item would create its own chest with the overflow of items that you couldn't fit into your inventory. But with update 3, when you're mass deconstructing like 50 items with a full inventory, all of those extra items will be consolidated into one chest, which is amazing. Alright, logistics. Splitters, mergers, lifts, and the productivity display, which may or may not work. And filling up the pod and sending it up.
Milestone reached.
There it goes.
Conveyor
We're done with
belts
tier
can
1.
now merge, split, and lift to increase the complexity and efficiency of your factory. We encourage you to consider more verticality when it comes to factory logistics to streamline short-range transportation.
Let's
The productivity display will
put
help you measure and improve the
few
productivity
storage
of
chests down
individual
here.
buildings to aid with optimization.
Dump our inventory into it. Let's go to the hub. Take all of that, and we'll dump this into the other chest. Now we're deconstructing the hub. And we're just going to load up on concrete. I guess we can dismantle this. We'll put our ore back in here, our limestone. So I'm going to take all of this concrete. And we're going to go pretty high up just so we don't have to deal with any of these rock outcroppings. So we'll find a high point. We're not going to go all the way up to where that slug is, but we'll go pretty close. Actually, I think if we go to the back of this, there's like a little ramp of sorts. Yeah. Alright, 10 minutes in, we're already through all of Tier 1. The early game is moving at a pretty good clip here. Yeah, this is fine. So, let's go to our foundations. We'll use the 1 meter, I guess. I'm partial to the 4 meter because when I started playing this game, the 4 meter thick foundations were all that were available, but I think most people prefer to see the 1 meter, so I'm trying to get on board with that. Alright, let's just count these out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13. Alright. You see all the slugs? They are everywhere. That's too many. Overshot. I think this is 13. This is so much easier with the 4 meter thick foundations than the 1. So I counted out 13 there because 12 foundations, or I guess 12 times 8 meters is the maximum distance you can place an object. So with this 12 by 12 area in the middle here, let's go ahead and set this to our hotbar. We can quickly lay these out. So we've got several new, cosmetic building options in Update 3. One of my personal favorites are the glass floor foundations. They look really nice, although they do tend to occlude if they're too far away from you, or even like a moderate distance away from you. I'm sure that's a performance mechanic to reduce the strain of having transparent objects on your CPU. Hopefully once the game has been optimized a little bit more, they'll loosen the restrictions on that, maybe increase the distance at which you can actually see through the glass floors. But they look great. They've added windows, like a few, maybe 4 different window options in the wall category. There are new ramp options, a double ramp that's much easier to place than the previous ramps. Alright. This will need to grow, even for our starter factory. This is a fine base. Let's run down. Should really put a ramp here. It's easier to build ramps from the ground up until you get the double ramps. Fortunately, we'll unlock the coupon shop in Tier 2. That's where we have access to all these new cosmetic goodies. Alright. So let's run over, get our hub set up, collect a few extra building materials, and we'll start reconstructing at a larger scale here. Let's take the hub, let's take some biomass, we'll set up the power first. Alright, that'll be a good start. Didn't do a great job with those foundations. We'll clean that up later. Okay, so we're going to put the hub. Let's put it over here. Give ourselves a little room. We're obviously going to have to expand these foundations quite a bit. Okay. Hub is back. Let's expand our power network first. So another change here in update 3. These 2 burners on the hub, they are still capped at 20 megawatts output each. But the freestanding biomass burners have been kicked up to 30 megawatts. Which it makes sense because they are, visually bigger. It's a nice change. Okay. So now we've got 30, 60, 80, 100. All using biomass. We don't have biofuel yet. In Update 2, biofuel was the first thing that I unlocked after the hub upgrades, just so you made the most of all of your leaves and wood. You didn't have to spend a ton of time running around collecting. But in Update 3, they've really boosted the efficiency of biomass and of biofuel, so it's not quite as painful slogging toward coal and automated power. Let's grab a few more of these basic resources here. Now I think we'll go ahead and set up the equipment bench. We'll get our MAM set up. We can start some research. Should probably grab something to research while we're down here. Guess we'll grab Caterium. Let's put this here away and get a slug as well. We can get these organs and carapaces. Okay. So we'll put the MAM over here. It's just a freestanding structure. Now we've got 3 monitors, the same research station as before. It's got a cool little antenna there. We'll set up a equipment workshop opposite of the MAM. Put down a few storage boxes for research components. Let's take a look at the tech trees. It's all separated by category here. We've got everything we can learn about alien organs and carapaces, and that will unlock further nodes down the tree. Let's go ahead and start with that. A lot of these research times right now are 3 seconds. I can't imagine that that's going to remain.
New recipe unlocked.
So that unlocked the recipe for biomass from alien carapaces.
New research available in the MAM.
This is another 3-second research time. Okay, that's all we can do in this tree. Let's see here. 3 seconds for Caterium. Okay, that allows us to scan for Caterium.
New resource added to the resource scanner.
We don't have enough Caterium for the next unlock. Alright. So they added the ability to scan for slugs using the object scanner, which is nice, I guess. They're so prolific now that you really don't need to use the scanner for them. Then we'll research this for the ability to actually put the power shards into the machines that we want to overclock. And we can go ahead and convert those green slugs to power shards now. And then we'll pop them to the chest. The other miscellaneous goods that we need to research later, but we don't quite have the quantity for now, we'll pop into one of those boxes. Let's see what we need for the first of Tier 2. We've got a lot to go through here. Part assembly. Oops. Obstacle clearing, that's the chainsaw and solid biofuel. Jump pads, not really critical. Resource bonus sink, this is a cool one. And logistics Mark II for the conveyor poles that are stackable, as well as the Mark II belts and lifts. But I think part assembly is going to be first, so we can unlock our rotors. We can do most of this already, we'll run down and get what we're missing here. And then once we send the pot up, oh, whoops, my bad. Once we send the pot up, we'll go ahead and get started on the setup of our starter factory. So just take all of those. Take all of that. Get one more spool of copper wire. We'll be in good shape. Actually, we should have some more reinforced iron plates down here in a box. Let's go pick those up. I'm gonna need those. Where'd they go? Okay. That's a mystery. Oh, that's where they went. They went into the construction of the MAM. Just quickly, I guess we have to make some inventory space here. Okay. We need 180 screws. Let's go. Handcrafting is just so painful in Update 3. We've gotta get our automation set up again ASAP. Is that 159 cables? 169? Yeah. Maths. And we'll make a few extra because we're going to need the cable when we set up this starter factory here. Okay, great. Alright. Gives us access to
Milestone reached. More
rotors
complex
and
assembly
assemblers.
parts can now be automated. Project assembly parts can now be constructed and sent up via the space
Okay, let's
elevator.
get started with iron.
Note,
The iron node is right
project
here.
parts are too complex to produce by hand.
Now, I'm going to start with something maybe a little bit controversial, but I think this is probably the best method when we're working with so few nearby nodes in the desert. Okay, I'm going to set everything up on a in the same way that we were making concrete before, using storage containers in place of a miner. And I'll explain why I think this is a solid idea. If I don't die from backing off the foundations. So let's pull up a miner here. One Mark 1 miner has an extraction rate of 60 on a normal node, or on a pure node like this one, 120. But that number of 120 items per minute, that means nothing to us because the Mark 1 belts, the only conveyor belts we have access to right now, are limited to 60 items per minute. So it doesn't matter how fast or the miner can pull up the ore, we can't transport it at a rate of higher than 60 per minute. So we know that our smelters here require 30 ore per minute. So one miner can only supply 2 smelters with ore. 2 smelters, that's barely anything. It's not enough. So what we're going to do here, and I guess we could be a little bit smarter about this, is we're going to substitute storage containers for the place that a miner would usually go. Is this enough room? It's a little tight. Let's back it up. Let's actually put down a few more foundations so I'm not continually falling off this platform. I'm thinking we'll go 8 smelters for iron. Yeah, that'll be more than enough. Okay. Hopefully we have enough room here. Okay. 1. Let's get our smelter set up. 2. 3. 4. It's gonna be a little tight. 5. Okay, not too bad. Now some storage containers. Each storage container can supply 2 smelters. Again, we're just limited by our Mark 1 conveyor belts. Let's add our splitters, convert our mergers to the hotbar. We'll put a splitter completely in line with our storage container directly between each pair of smelters. How are we on iron plates? Fine. Then we'll hook these up like so very quickly. Now this setup, it's going to require a little bit of, like, it won't be completely automated. We're going to have to hand carry the ore up from the portable miners to the storage containers. But that little bit of effort is going to quadruple our eventual output of iron ingots. So in my mind, it's a good trade. It's going to help us get through tier 2 much faster. And then once we have our Mark II miner and the upgraded belts, we can do away with this temporary setup. So here we've got 8 smelters. Let's set them all up for iron. Okay. Half of these we'll devote to iron plates. The other half will be divided equally between iron rods and screws. Just keep it simple. We actually need to get a hard drive or two. Just so we can unlock that first recipe iron screws, or what's it called? It's got a new name in Update 3. It'll come to me. Cased screws? I think maybe it's cased screws. So I know there are 2 hard drives in the middle there. I believe one needs power, one needs rotors. I want to say it's 4 rotors, but I don't remember completely off the top of my head. Let's make some screws. And then make like 20 rotors, just to be safe. Then we'll grab some biomass so we can make a few biomass burners to power the second drop pod. We're really low on health too. It'd be nice if we can pick up some nuts. I really don't think it's more than 10. Let's make 10. Alright, let's grab some biomass. It's downstairs. Okay. Let's take the ramp instead of falling off this time. So there are at least 4 hard drives that are like in the desert, in the area that you could call the desert. There are actually maybe 7 or 8 total, but they're on the northern edge, kind of far away. The 2 that I think are immediately accessible, there's actually 3, there's a third in the oasis. I forgot the biomass. My bad. Yeah, I think there are 3. We'll make a play for all 3 if we can find a few nutrients to get our health up. They are all guarded. Yeah, we're gonna need that biomass. Okay. So let's make this a really quick exploration trip. We'll get our first hard drive in there before the episode wraps up. I think it's basically just straight west of where we set up. Be on the lookout for some nuts or berries. There we go. Is that quartz? We'll take that too. Not enough space. Okay. No, we don't need those screws.
This mineral shows purity levels akin to synthetic quartz manufactured on Earth, and can be used to improve communication and exploration technologies. A new research tree can now be accessed in the MAM.
Okay, so we just unlocked another resource tree in our MAM. Is that Caterium or uranium? It looks like uranium. I think it's... There we go, right over this hill. 2 spitters. Whoa! The key to fighting most of this fauna here is to to sidestep their attacks. I'm doing a terrible job of that right now. Each of these spitters takes 8 attacks with my Xeno Zapper. There we go. I did better on that last one. To pick up these organs to research. I think we're gonna have to drop some concrete or something, which I hate to do, but we can always come back for it later. Alright, 10 rotors. Man. Perfect.
Data on the hard drive has been salvaged and can be repurposed to unlock
Definitely
an alternate
want to
recipe.
pick up
Salvaging more
this
hard
stuff to take
drives
back
will
with me.
provide additional alternate recipes.
Let's see, we've got frames, some motors. Okay. We'll drop this wire. We'll drop these rods. We'll drop this. That'll be good for now. Alright. I think that's everything. Okay. Now the second drop pod, it's nearby, is just directly north. Maybe a little bit northwest. A few poison gas rocks there on our right. You want to avoid those. They really up the damage that the poison gas rocks can output in Update 3. So it's much harder just to run through them. If you're relying on something like nuts to heal you, you really need the inhalers to heal yourself to full because the damage is intense. You can go from full health to dead in just a few seconds. There's some nuts there. Yeah. So I was counting earlier, and I think there are like 12 slugs in just this little green oasis area. At least 12. Mostly green, but a few yellow, and maybe even some pink ones. It's a Mercer sphere. As far as I know, those are still not really playable. Okay, there's our second drop pod ahead. Kind of looking for any other rock outcroppings of minerals, some quartz, more caterium, those would both be good. Some sulfur would be nice. There's an entire tech tree in the MAM devoted to sulfur. This one seems to be unguarded. Just pick up those modular frames. do we need here? 50 megawatts. That's 2 of the new burners because they produce 30 each now. Let's drop some more concrete so we can split this biomass. Pull more second hard drive out. Deconstruct all of these. And, you know, I think I'm going to leave the concrete and pick up another 500 screws. Just because we know that we need these screws for the next tier unlocks. So as much as I hate leaving concrete behind, this is just going to speed up our progress a little bit. Now there's one more hard drive that I think we can access, and it's not too far away. I wonder if these slugs yellow. Is there more quartz here? Okay, we'll pick this up. These are, okay, yeah, these are the 2 pure nodes of coal in the desert. We'll be using these later. I think these 2 will be used to fuel our coal generators. We'll probably get it over to the water by tractor, maybe by belt. We'll see what feels right. More rock quartz. Let's pick this up. Okay. I think the oasis is just over the hill here. We'll avoid this pack of hogs if we can. Yeah, here we go. Taking the time to get these hard drives early, I think can really work out for us. Is this the right oasis? It can work out for us if I haven't, mistaken our location here. A few of the alternate recipes are really beneficial in various stages of the game. Basically every recipe, or many of the recipes, have undergone huge shifts in their recipes. A lot of the alternate recipes are now much more situational than they were in Update 2. I don't know where that guy went. There he is. We don't have room for that right now. So I'm pretty sure that somewhere, there it is. Okay, now let's... Oh man. Oh, there's a spitter. We're gonna have to run and regain some health here. If you can avoid taking damage for, I don't know, like 10 seconds or something, you'll start regenerating your health up to the first 3 bars. So you can use that to stay alive. I really feel like there are some berries nearby, but I'm not seeing them. It's definitely harder to see things in the night. Okay, you can also use rocks. These hogs often get stuck on the rocks. Okay, now I've lost the drop pod. Here it is. There's a spitter. Let's try to kill it without dying. more round. There we go. Okay, close. Where is the actual drop pod? This isn't it. This is just a piece of wreckage. Okay, it's over there, directly ahead. What have we got? We've got some motors. We want those. Reinforced iron plates, we'll take those. I believe this wants 70 something. Yeah, 70 megawatt hours of electricity. That's 3 biomass motors now. No, need to feed it with biomass. Alright, just got our third hard drive. Just gonna check the water around here for any other goodies. You know, I feel like we have to take those in case. Steel beams with us, industrial beams with us. What can we leave behind? Looks like it's gonna be concrete. You hate to see it, but you know what, let's leave the. No, it's got to be concrete. That's the only logical choice. Okay, we're looking for. Oh, heat sinks. That's excellent. And computers in the water. Yeah. For heat sinks and computers, we will leave behind some concrete. So these heat sinks and these computers, these will probably be fed into the awesome item sink for some hefty early game coupons. Heat sinks, and like the higher the tier the item, the more points you receive from the item sink towards coupons. So that's gonna help us unlock a lot of goodies really quickly. Okay, back to the base. South. Let's try to do this without angering those fire wasps. We can. Take the long way. Better safe than sorry. We're low in health here. There's a pink slug up there, but surrounded by the toxic gas rocks. We're not really equipped to handle that right now. Oh, there's a berry. Single berry. Great. Oh, 3. Nice. Alright. A few more berries. Okay. Nearly back to the hub. We'll just pop this first hard drive in and then wrap up this episode. And then the next episode will start with the construction of our starter base here. And we'll probably bust through everything that's left in Tier 2. Probably get the space elevator set up. Space elevator has been revamped for update 3 in terms of what you need to unlock the new tiers. That's fun. I think they did a good job with that for sure. Alright. Here's the MAM. Hard drive. We're scanning. Alright, that'll be it for episode 2. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're liking the series, please subscribe, hit the like button, and I will see everyone in the next episode.